We'll never know how many lives have been lived in these walls, how many births, how many deaths, the joys, the sorrows, how many ideas and inventions were dreamed up, how many poems, songs, and stories were written. All we can know is the time we are given. And this is our time to fill this house with life. The neighborhood is so lucky to have you. You make this such a glorious little spot, Iminah. What made you get into it? What was the first inspiration where you're like, I have to learn how to do that?
I feel like I was listening to probably Paco de Lucia. It was like one of his classic albums. And then I was like, wow, that sounds crazy. What's happening? And then, yeah, finding my teacher, like Gareth here.
Okay.
Definitely. Because I came to him and was like, what is this? Like, I want to learn. Well, there's a palo called Bulerias. And I was like, oh, nice. Like, okay, like that's very hard, but we'll start there.
What was it? Okay, what does that sound like?
It's like...
I was a drummer and I'm just like, where is the beat? Oh.
12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Wow. And then once you started, you're like, yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I got really into it. And still am into it.
Clearly. This is definitely the raccoon song. I watch it through the window as the wind blows, and I wonder if we'll ever come together, 'cause we never, ever really tried. So I waited by the window so that you'll know that you're never on your own. Wherever the wind takes you and the world breaks you, well, this old house is always home. Well, this old house is your home.
How's it going?
Good. What are you doing?
I'm actually just going to water to your left here, sorry. These are the plants that are going in the boulevard up the street. They're all edible plants that are like from Lachlangan territory, and there's things like loganberry, and there's thimbleberry with red flowering currant. There's strawberries, trailing blackberry, black-capped raspberry. So this will be like forming like a little food forest that will be on the boulevard garden that we're building with folks on the street. This will kind of be like a way to showcase to people how you could like convert like a lawn into like a thriving ecosystem that will support pollinators but also will support humans.
Yeah.
Like they don't need to be mutually exclusive.
Right.
So most of the ones that are here on the side, they're we got a grant through Pollinator Partnership Canada,
Okay.
in certain flower nurseries for the cost of the plants.
Yeah.
And so these plants were purchased with that grant specifically for the.
Cool.
I think that Ela has named it the Fernwood Pollinator Garden. So yeah, these will be the sort of the food forest in the pollinator garden.
Now I got you. Look at this guy. As if recording vocals in the studio isn't hard enough. Now I got you. Well, the 1924 sewing machine is definitely gonna need the guitar from the 50s. So I think...
Cut. Yeah, so this sewing machine's from 1924. Yeah.
So it fits with the house.
Pretty much, yeah.
Somebody in 1924 was living in this house and could have got that
Definitely.
brand new.
Yeah, so you can, that's why it's under the window, because you don't have a light. So you can,
Oh,
sew
yeah.
where it is. I'm just thinking about someone in the 20s who like made this machine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cast iron, so it like lasts like lifetimes. Which is just really, I don't know, it's just really beautiful. It's fun too, like you can get like the feet going or like this part going too. It's kind of neat. So it's like, it's basically, it's all off grid. So it's connected by this belt. And when this wheel turns, the belt turns this thing right here, this wheel. So basically every time I press down, this wheel moves, which makes this belt move,
Oh, wow.
which makes this move, which makes the needle move.
That's cool.
Isn't it neat? So yeah, it goes like that. Click it down. So yeah, you can see this whole thing spinning.
That's super cool.
Isn't it neat? Yeah. 'Cause it's not like you can just press go. You have to like learn the whole balance of
Yeah.
the whole machine.
What's your company called?
Blue Roots. So I make clothing out of upcycled and reclaimed fabrics. And then I just make like fun, weird dresses.
And that's what you're doing on markets?
Yeah. So I'm making at the markets. Buy my stuff, people. That's what I have to say.
Hey, get right to the point.
Yeah, don't put that in the video.
Welcome to hell. Okay, it's not really hell. It's just a really gross basement. wanted to get you like jumping over the back deck. Do you think we could get an action shot? Could you please give me an action shot? Peace note. How do you do it? How do you do it? Look at you. You sing and you play instruments and you do art. Is one of them your primary language, voice for
stuff?
For expressing your
Creative things?
Yeah.
I would say that I guess art is my primary language. It's the thing that I'm best at. But music is the most fun.
And where did you get the idea for these little mini paintings?
Well, I'm doing them for Marianne, who has a food exchange thing called the Farm Stand. And just when she was proposing the idea, and I was on her email list of like wanting to do trade for soups and things that were offered at the stand, and I was trying to think of what I could possibly do, and this is kind of the only thing that came to mind. So I basically like promised that I would give her a little painting every week in exchange for whatever I wanted at the stand. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good. I get soup every week, so I have anxiety about food sometimes because I don't cook, and I just get all like worried about like, well, what should I cook, and like, oh, I don't have the things, and then and yeah, I just get so worried about it. So it's really worth it for me to have some help in that regard.
Hey!
Filming?
Yeah, totally. A little puppet?
Little puppet.
Alright, I'm curious. Can you like talk while you're painting?
Yeah, sure. I originally thought I wanted to do textile design, so like patterns on fabric, which I still find really interesting, but
That's why you were silk screening the other day.
yeah. Oh my goodness, that was a bit of a fail, but major fail. You just need the space and the patience, and I did not have that day, so.
You didn't have either?
I didn't have either, yeah. Not a great mix. I mostly knit. I do a ton of knitting, and I make my own patterns.
Oh. Do you make stuff that you wear?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
I make socks.
Okay.
I make so many socks.
Well, your room is just full of socks?
Yeah. It's bursting with socks. I find like other art I make is very influenced by my textile interests and vice versa. So it's always cool how things inform each other.
Where'd you get the idea for puppets?
The first paper marionette that I got was, I think it was a German kit from a little sort of shop that had a lot of German retro toys, and I was super enthralled by it. I think I was like maybe 6 or 7, and then I sort of picked them up again when I was tree planting in the woods.
Oh God.
I know it was a bit weird. I brought all this puppet making supplies along, tree planting, and ended up really getting into it there. And that's when I started in my adult life to make puppets.
Oh. So this would go in a frame?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's okay.
Go get it.
I love my little Coops. I love them, yes I do. I love my little Coops. I love them and so do you. He greets you at the door like you're the best thing in the world. I love my little Coops, I do. I love them and so do you.
What are you working on?
Oh, glasses for markets.
Is this an entrepreneurial idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Show me one of them. Oh yeah, yeah. Yep. And are you coloring those in?
I will, yes.
God, how many designs do you have?
Oh gosh. Probably like 15.
Really?
Oh yeah. Different types of glasses. And yeah, I'm gonna start coloring soon.
Now what are you doing?
I am sewing some rat pants.
Is this for an entrepreneurial pursuit as well?
Yes. My plan is to have a little booth with lots of different things. So I have my glasses here.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have some flowy, fun clothing, woodworking, like epoxy kind of coasters, and rings, and just lots of fun things.
I can't wait.
Finished product.
Riel. Very clever. Very clever. That's the kind of stuff you're gonna sell?
Yeah,
Nice.
lots of different patterns.
Nice.
I'm like, what kind of a song can you write for a little squirrel? And I pictured the neck of the guitar being like the branch of a tree, and the little squirrel is
Eating all the cherries. You're the worst. Now you're eating my apples. Man, you're the worst. You're the worst, eh? It's so rude. Eating a person's fruit. You are the worst.
So I waited by the window so that you'll know that you're never on your own. Wherever the wind takes you and the world breaks you, well, this old house is always home. Well, this old house is your home.